Welcome to In-Silico Trials Real Impact, the InSilicoUK podcast that's revolutionizing the way we think about medical innovation. I'm Professor Alejandro Frangi from the University of Manchester, and I'll be your guide through this fascinating world of in-silico technologies. In each episode, we'll dive into cutting-edge research and groundbreaking news that are shaping the future of medical product development and regulation. From computational modeling to simulated clinical trials, we are exploring how digital approaches are transforming healthcare, making it safer, more efficient, more equitable, and incredibly precise. So, whether you're a researcher, regulator, a member of the public, or a patient representative, or simply curious about the future of medicine, tune in as we unravel the complex world of in-silico methods and their real-world impact. Get ready to discover how computer-simulated trials are leading to very real breakthroughs in patient care. In-Silico Trials Real Impact, where algorithms and data are saving lives. Let's begin.
All right, ready to dive deep. Today we're looking at something pretty revolutionary, something that's changing how we think about medicine. And guess what? It all comes back to you.
Yeah, it really does. We're going to be talking about patient and public involvement. It's often called PPI for short.
PPI.
Yeah.
So how are patients like me actually impacting, the future of medicine?
Well, it's all about making sure your voice is heard, especially when it comes to new technologies, these really advanced in silico technologies.
In silico. Okay, now you have to explain that one.
So picture this, a lab, but not your typical one. No test tubes or anything like that. Instead, everything happens inside a computer. That's basically in silico, using computer simulations and models to create and test new drugs and medical devices.
Oh, I see. So it's like a virtual lab where you can run all these experiments without needing real people in the beginning.
Exactly. And that's where PPI becomes so important. It's about making sure patients are involved from the start, making sure their needs and concerns are considered as these technologies are being developed.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, who knows more about living with the condition than the patients themselves, right?
You got it. And we're seeing some really exciting examples of this both here and around the world. For instance, in Europe, there's the Avicenna Alliance, a group of experts who are really pushing for PPI in silico medicine.
So they're not just asking patients for feedback at the end, right? They're trying to build a system where patients are actively involved in the research from day one.
Absolutely. It's a fundamental shift. We're talking about a change in mindset. Patients are seen as equal partners in the research process.
That's fantastic. So what's happening closer to home? Are we seeing similar things in the UK?
Oh, definitely. Here in the UK, the InSilicoUK Pro Innovation Regulations Network has a really exciting proposal. They want to create a UK Center of Excellence on in silico regulatory science and innovation.
Wow, a Center of Excellence. That sounds impressive. What's their vision?
Their goal is to create this central hub where we can push the boundaries of in silico technologies. Ultimately, it's about developing treatments more quickly and making sure they're safer and more effective.
And how does PPI fit into all of this?
They've actually woven PPI principles into the very core of this initiative.
Okay, I'm all ears. How are they making that happen?
Well, they've put together a public advisory group. It's made up of people from all walks of life, patients, caregivers, all sorts. And they're not just there to give feedback at the end. They're actively shaping the project.
So they're bringing real-world experiences to the table and helping researchers understand what matters most to patients.
Exactly. This group has had a huge impact already. They've been involved in everything from deciding what research to focus on to figuring out the ethical considerations. They've even helped develop the plan for how to involve the public as the center moves forward.
It sounds like they're really walking the walk, not just talking the talk.
Yeah, they truly are. And to show how committed they are, they even made sure representatives from the public advisory group were listed as co-applicants on their funding bid. It's a powerful statement.
Wow, that's really impressive. It seems like both the Avicenna Alliance and InSilicoUK are setting a great example for how to do PPI, right?
They absolutely are, and it's really creating momentum. More and more researchers and developers are realizing that PPI isn't just a box to tick. It's the key to creating medical breakthroughs that actually meet the needs of the people they're meant to help.
Now, that's what I call a win-win. But tell me, what are some of the specific ways that PPI is actually making a difference when it comes to developing these in silico technologies?
Well, one of the biggest benefits is that it leads to treatments that are more relevant and more effective. By involving patients right from the beginning, researchers can make sure they're asking the right questions.
So it's about making treatments that work for the people who need them, not just treatments that sound good in theory.
Exactly. And with in silico medicine, there's this incredible opportunity to personalize things. You can
Mhm.
create simulations that are tailored to a patient's unique biology.
That's amazing. You're saying we could test different treatment options on a virtual model of a patient's body to see what would work best for them.
That's the idea. It's a whole new level of personalized medicine, and PPI is essential to make sure it's used ethically and responsibly.
So it's like patients get a seat at the table where decisions about their health are being made. And that's incredibly powerful.
You said it. And it's not just about effectiveness. PPI can also improve the safety of new treatments. Patients often have insights into potential side effects or complications that researchers might not even think of.
Ah, I see. It's like having an extra set of eyes looking out for things that might get missed.
Precisely. And it goes even deeper than that. PPI can help us understand the broader ethical and social implications of these new technologies. Things like ensuring data privacy and making sure that these advances benefit everyone, not just a select few.
It sounds like PPI is so much more than just getting feedback from patients. It's about creating a partnership where everyone's voice is respected and valued.
Absolutely. And as these in silico technologies continue to evolve, PPI is only going to become even more important. It's truly exciting to see patients leading the way, shaping a future of healthcare that is more effective, more equitable, and ultimately more human.
I couldn't agree more. It sounds like we're on the verge of a major transformation in healthcare, and it's all thanks to the power of patient and public involvement.
It's a transformation that has the potential to benefit all of us. And it's only just beginning. And it's fascinating, actually, how these organizations are tackling PPI, in their own unique ways.
Oh, that's interesting. So how do their strategies differ?
Well, the Avicenna Alliance, they're taking a broader approach. You could say a more systemic one. They're trying to create this unified understanding of what PPI is, and how it works. It's about changing the whole culture within the in silico medicine world.
So it's about providing the tools and resources that everyone can use, regardless of their specific project.
Exactly. They're laying the groundwork, building the foundation for PPI to really thrive. But then you have InSilicoUK, and they're taking a more focused approach, much more hands-on. They're showing how powerful PPI can be by integrating it deeply into their center of excellence.
So they're leading by example, demonstrating what's possible when you make patient involvement a priority.
You got it. Both approaches are super valuable. Avicenna Alliance is setting the stage, while InSilicoUK is showing us what it looks like in practice.
It's like they're working from different angles, but ultimately aiming for the same goal, making sure patients are at the heart of medical innovation.
That's a great way to put it. And this brings us to a really important point, the benefits of PPI. We're not just talking about theory here.
Right. We've talked a lot about the concept, but I'd love to hear about how this translates into real improvements for patients.
Okay, so imagine this. You're living with a chronic condition, and researchers are developing a new treatment using these in silico models. Wouldn't you want to have a say in how that treatment is designed, making sure it addresses the issues that are most important to you?
Absolutely. It makes so much more sense to have a treatment that's tailored to your needs.
Exactly. And that's what PPI allows for treatments that are more effective because they take into account what patients actually need and want. It's about moving away from that one-size-fits-all approach.
So it's about finding the right treatment for the right person at the right time. That's incredibly powerful.
It really is. And with in silico technologies, we can take personalization even further. We can create these virtual models, individual patients, and see how they might respond to different treatments based on their own biology.
Wow, that's mind-blowing. It's like being able to predict how your body will react to a specific treatment.
In a way, yeah. And PPI is crucial to making sure this incredible power is used responsibly, ethically, making sure it benefits everyone.
So it's about making sure that these advances are accessible to everyone, not just a select few.
Exactly. PPI keeps the focus on patient needs and values, not just on profits or technological advancements. Of course, there are also challenges when it comes to implementing PPI effectively.
I imagine it requires a big shift in mindset, both for researchers and patients.
You're right. Researchers need to be willing to share control, to be more collaborative. They need to actively seek out patient perspectives and incorporate them into every stage of the research process.
And patients need to feel comfortable speaking up, knowing their contributions are valued.
Absolutely. It's about creating an environment where everyone feels safe to share their ideas and concerns. There's also the challenge of making sure PPI is truly representative and inclusive.
meaning we need to hear from diverse voices, not just those who are already engaged with the healthcare system.
Precisely. We need to reach out to communities that are often overlooked, people from different backgrounds and experiences. Everyone should have the opportunity to contribute to these advancements in medicine.
Because if we're only hearing from a small portion of the population, the solutions we develop might not work for everyone.
Exactly. And that defeats the purpose of PPI, which is to make healthcare more equitable and accessible for all. It's important to acknowledge these challenges and address them proactively.
So it's a journey, a process of constantly learning and improving. But it's encouraging to see the growing momentum.
It really is. More and more people are realizing that PPI isn't just a nice addition, it's a necessity for responsible medical innovation. And as in-silico technologies continue to advance, PPI will only become more vital.
So given these challenges, how can we make sure PPI is built into these in-silico initiatives? What are some best practices we can learn from these organizations?
One really important thing is building trust and transparency. Being upfront with patients about how their data will be used, explaining things clearly, and creating an open environment for dialogue.
Right, because transparency is crucial for building trust, and trust is essential for any successful collaboration.
Another critical element is providing patients with the right support and resources to participate effectively. Things like training on in-silico technologies or financial compensation for their time and expertise, or even childcare support so they can attend meetings more easily.
It's about acknowledging that patients bring valuable expertise to the table and they should be fairly compensated for their contributions.
Exactly. And it's not just about involving patients in the research itself. It's also about sharing the findings in a way that everyone can understand. Maybe that's plain language summaries of research reports or educational materials specifically for patients, or even community forums where people can ask questions and share their thoughts.
So it's about making sure that everyone benefits from the knowledge gained through this research, empowering patients to make informed decisions about their health.
Precisely. It's about creating a true partnership between researchers, patients, and the public. A partnership where everyone benefits from the progress we make in medical science.
And that brings us back to the work of the Avicenna Alliance and InSilicoUK. They're not just talking about PPIs, they're putting it into action, showing us what's possible.
They're paving the way for a future where in-silico technologies are developed and used responsibly, ethically, and with the needs of patients at the forefront.
This is all incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing to see how PPI is shaping these complex technologies. But with all this talk about virtual models and simulations, are there any, real-world examples of how in-silico medicine is actually helping patients right now?
Oh, absolutely. Let's look at drug development. Researchers are using these in-silico models to predict how a drug will work with a patient's genes and other factors, It means they can personalize a drug to someone's specific biology, basically.
So instead of trying different medications until one works, doctors could use these simulations to find the best treatment right away.
Exactly. It's like having a personalized guide for treatment, leading doctors to the safest and most effective options.
That's incredible. What about medical devices? Are in-silico technologies being used there too?
Definitely. Think of prosthetic limbs or artificial organs. In-silico models can help design and test them. Engineers can actually optimize the design for individual patients,
So you're saying we can create a prosthetic limb that fits perfectly using a virtual model of the patient's body?
Yeah. It improves comfort and how well it works and reduces the need for adjustments later. And the best part, all of this happens virtually before the device is even made.
That's remarkable. It sounds like in-silico technologies could change everything about how we approach healthcare.
And PPI is so important to ensure these changes benefit everyone. By keeping patients involved, we can make sure these technologies are developed and used ethically and responsibly.
It's like building a bridge between science and the real experiences of patients, creating a healthcare system that's both advanced and human.
That's a great way to put it. It's this focus on people that will drive progress in medicine.
So what does all of this mean for you listening? The future of medicine is definitely becoming more digital, but that doesn't mean it's losing its human touch. Actually, the opposite is true. Your experiences, your needs, they're becoming essential for creating new treatments and technologies.
As these in-silico technologies keep advancing, it's important to remember that they're tools to help people. The real power is in how they can empower patients, giving them a voice in shaping their own health.
It's an exciting time to be alive, seeing how science and patient-centered care are coming together. Who knows what amazing breakthroughs are still to come?
One thing's for sure, the future of medicine is about working together. It's personalized, and it's driven by the voices of patients like you.
Well, that's all the time we have for today's deep dive. We hope you enjoyed this look into the world of in silico medicine and PPI. We'll see you next time.